So today I'm installing a, I think it's a 14.5 kilowatt oven, which I came and looked at a while ago, and actually I've got my armoured cable. I had to do it externally, I couldn't go through the centre of the house. I don't know if you saw, they had like that fancy flooring which I couldn't get out. There's my conduit there, just leave through the wall, ready? So basically, yeah, 14.5 kilowatt, which sounds like a lot, but if you and I know, 14.5 kilowatt, realistically, when you apply diversity, it's like 30 something amps. So I wasn't going to put in a 32 amp RCBO, but and the manufacturers wanted a 45 amp RCBO. So I've compromised using my professional engineering judgment, and I put in a 40 amp RCBO, because 14.5 kilowatt, once you apply diversity, like I said, it's about 30 something odd amps. It's never going to pull. If you do it technically, if you work it out, it's something like 50 odd amps, but you and I know both aren't going to do, it's not going to do that. If you look at, I think it's Appendix A on the on-site guide, it shows like what you can do, like 10% or whatever it is of the load and whatever. So yeah, so I've got a 40 amp RCBO. I've got to do an EICR and a board upgrade because they want the cooker and there's no spare ways. So I'm doing that. And as you can see, I couldn't go through the hallway. So I'm going to drill through where the fuse board is, out in between the two houses, cleat it down, and then I've come back in down here, just under there, I think you can see. There it is there. I also had to get up a section of this floor here. I used my cavity master initially just because I couldn't see. It looked like it had been tiled before, so I couldn't see where the screws were. So I used a cavity master and I stuck my arm in, found the joist, and then sawed a little square hatch out. I thought I could get down and in and crawl, but there was literally no fucking space. So got a hatch up. I tried to rod across. It didn't work. There's a sexy old man. I tried to rod across from there. It's about 5 meters. I couldn't do it. So I ended up using, again, my super rod cavity master thing. I pulled the dishwasher out. I got a hole in under there, managed to get, I think it was like a dwarf wall or something I was hitting. And I just couldn't, with the length of the rods, I couldn't bounce over the wall. So a hole there. This hole was already existing, and someone had had a checker plate already installed like that. So I got to there, and then I've just drilled the hole, and I'm going to come up in the bottom. I'm going to come up in the bottom of this cabinet. I'm going to drill a hole here, and then mount an isolator, armoured gland on one side, and then like a black stuffing gland on the other side, so that when the oven men come to install the oven, they can just connect straight into my isolator. But yeah, a little bit trickier. I knew it was going to be tricky. I thought I could crawl underneath, but I couldn't. It's only about a foot gap. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. 14.5 kilowatt oven. So I'm going to put in a 40 amp RCBO. Technically 14.5 is something like 50 odd amps. It's not ever going to pull that, not modern ovens. I don't want to install a 32 amp, that's just for me, just on the borderline. I don't want to get the fucking call on Christmas Day. So 40 amp, I've got a 6mm 3-core armoured cable. I'm going to gland it enough at the board end. And this end I'm just going to gland it off into the isolator. And no, I think we can put that down now. Pop that down, I reckon, Dave.
We got everything out.
I think so.
The lights.
So yeah, as you can see, I've run it externally. So I took a few hours, to be fair, to get that in, and so there's the cable there. I'm just going to cleat it along here, all the way along here. I'll get Dave on that, and then drill back. Well, obviously do it from inside. I'm going to drill from where the fuse board is, and drill out, and wherever it comes, I think it's going to be somewhere near that shit pipe, to be honest. And it's just going to go rear entry into this cabinet, just here, somewhere here. So yeah, that was fucking helpful. That was helpful. Like Super Rod, although it's not sponsored by Super Rod, today is sponsored by Super Rod because I've used 1, 2, 3 of their 3 products today to get this cable in. Yeah, that looks dodgy as well. When I pulled the oven out, they're getting rid of this gas one anyway. They're getting the electric one, but yeah, that looks fucking dodgy. That looks like crimson tape. So we need to extend the ignition. Yeah, and then I'll do a board change on the EICR in one go. It's not normally the way I like to do it, but the board's got to be upgraded anyway to add in the oven. Yeah. So hopefully you understood what I was on about, the engineering judgment about the size of the fuse, the cable, and the size of the electric oven. It should all be good. I wish I could have showed you what I did, but I just had to crack on. I can't film every part of every job. There's basically a cavity master hole underneath here, section of board up over there. That was already cut, which is brilliant, and rodded from there to the middle, and middle to over here, and then drilled down through at an angle. And isolator there. I'll cleat up around the external wall, drill into the fuse board cupboard, and then gland it into the new board, which I'm probably going to install tomorrow, I think. I'll get some testing done today, so yeah. Right, so mounted the isolator in the cupboard. I'll probably get keyboard warriors saying, "Oh, don't fix it to kitchen cabinets. It's not a solid, fixing." Arm cable in, stuffing band, and a hole ready for the cooker installers, because they pay for the cooker for installation. So means I'll do all that, and I'll just fucking bosh a hole in the side probably. But yeah, that's all prepped up ready for them. It's shitting it down outside, so I'm probably going to cleat the cable today. I'm probably going to do some testing and then cleat that tomorrow. Yeah, let's crack on. Now, I'm not some kind of fucking brand ambassador or any kind of fucking affiliated whatever bullshit you want to say. Just appreciation for a decent fucking product. I really like Linium. I like the SWA Firefly cleats as well, but I really like Linium. On certain occasions it's fucking quick, compliant, and it's just really nice to work with. And I like it they're in the boxes now. They used to be in the fucking these bags. I don't know if some of them are still sold in the bags, but these boxes, brilliant. Love it. Not sponsored, not gifted, blah blah blah, fuck off. Just fucking decent fucking stuff. So I was a little bit confused when I got here in terms of protective bonding, because I had a few different 10 mils in here, and as you can see back in the cupboard under the stairs, there's one 10 mil that comes up and does a continuous loop across all the pipework, like the gas, the water. Now it's not, the gas meter is the other side of that wall there, the meter box, and the gas pipe comes through into that cupboard and then under the floor. I had a look behind there, it's not in there, the protective bond. All I could find was the one 10 mil coming up in the underneath the boiler in the cupboard. But disconnecting the cable from all the pipework, because I was getting continuity on all three of these 10 mils. So disconnected all the cables, and I got continuity on this one, and it was 0.00, which is what we want. So that's our water and gas protected bonding. It's a continuous loop from here. However, when I move the crock clip to the gas pipework or the pipework, I get a reading on this 10 mil and on the other 10 mil. Now I can't verify. There's clearly a bond or there's a connection on a bit of pipework somewhere. Whether it's interconnected or obviously on a manifold, but then I get nothing on this one, obviously because it's disconnected. So the first test was on this one, got reading and nothing on these two. Put it on the pipework, I got it on those two and not on this one. So I'll reconnect them up anyway, and we'll go from there. Right, just checking that there's no borrowed neutral between the ground and the first floor lighting circuits. So crop clips on the neutral conductors of the circuit. Insulation resistance 250. Clear. Flip both those switches. I can't remember which one's which does the landing. Nice and clear. Cool. So I don't think there's an interconnection at all. So I'm happy to put them back on, or put them on their own separate RCBO. You know what it's like if you've got a single RCD, it won't pick it up. So as I'm putting RCBOs in, it'll immediately bang out. But I know it won't. So happy days. Although I did get a weird. So there was a weird one. The ground floor WC is on with the top floor lights, second floor lights, which is weird. So I did verify that it's completely separate. It looks like someone's putting a separate cable. So I'm going to move it across to the ground floor lights. I'm using the new Whisker 32mm tails gland. It's fucking lovely, really nice. Fits 225s and 16 in there, so white, I think and then form it, then cut it, and then bosh it in. Yeah, just doing that bit now. Got my gland in ready for the armoured cable for the cooker, and I've knocked all of them out. I'm not sure I'm going to use them all, but they're such a bastard to get out that I thought I'll knock them out, put a 5 grommet in, so the next spark's hasn't got a struggle, you know. So I've got the board mounted. I'm just deciding which cable entry to bring all the circuits in. Making it up as you go along, you know, deciding on the day. I've used 5 grommets just because I like them. I think it's nice and future-proof for the next person. You don't have to smash the shit out of the board. So there's the bonds there. That's coming out of the wall, so I've used some grommet strip on the back. And yeah, I'm gonna bring the rings, the other rings and the lights in through here, do all the CPCs first, and then work my way through, put the RCBOs in, and etc, etc. The wholesalers have forgotten to get me a fuse for the SPD, so I'm going to get a fuse. I'll just have to put it in later on. I'll fit this today and then I'll come back and pop an MCB in and feed the... Sorry, pop an MCB in, yeah, and to feed the SPD. Right, almost done. It's not pretty, it's real life. I'm not going to extend cables for the sake of it. Tails are in, all the circuits are in, all the bonds located, identified, main, water and gas, but that's a continuous loop, which I'll make a note about my certificate and label on the board. RCBO's in, I've done the buzz bar, done the bottom there of the gland. I've used one of them just because I have one in the van. I'm just getting rid of, or making safe this old, it's like an old cooker supply. I'm just going to put it into some connector blocks with some Wagos and screw it to the skirting down there, so if they ever want to use it, because there is an isolator in the kitchen, so I'll just make it safe, and then they've got a spare supply there, you know? $15.
Yep.
18.3.
18. Yep.
Interesting. Looks like it's the sleeving is all in the terminal. So whilst there were a few minor issues here, the only one that was significant enough was there was no R2, no R1 or 2 reading out that socket, so we'll see. And I don't think that, yeah, that's right. So let's get the meter out, quick test, check if it's just the sleeving that's caused that issue. I'll strip them down, split the CPCs, and then ring final test. I don't think there was a R2 reading. That's what it was, I think. Looks like the sleeving. It's gone right the way in. So I'm going to test it. Okay. there weren't many minor issues here. There were a few code 3s, but the only code 2 when I tested it, because I did the EICR and the ball change over a couple of days, the only code 2 was that there was no ring final CPC on the ground floor sockets, which also, and when I went around doing my R1, R2, I got reading all the sockets apart from one in the kitchen, so could be, hope fingers crossed it's just a sleeve-in, but let's get the test kit out, strip it out and see if I can get an R2 read in there. I could have caused it. Let's get my meter on there. Oh, that's a lovely sound. I think so. From memory, I have to go and check my result. I think the ring is massive. I think it does the whole ground floor. Then they've added an extension kitchen, and then they've added an extension on top of the kitchen, and they've just added and added. And they should have added a new circuit for the extension, to be honest. But so whilst that looks a lot, I think that is 1.67 times greater than the line conductors. Still large, yeah, really fucking large. But yeah, that's why I wasn't getting R1, R2 read in there. Poorly terminated socket, almost fully in that, the sleeve-in. Squeaky. Come on. Line up with the lug so far back. I can't see it go in. Right, back on. Of course I have to go and get an extension bit, 3.5 bit, because the other bit wouldn't catch. Lovely. That was nice and easy one. When I did the EICR, there was a break in the ground floor ring final, and I had no R1, R2 at that socket. So I was like fingers crossed, thinking, "Oh, I hope it's at that socket." I reckon, you know, for it to have open continuity, I thought, "Oh, what are the chances that not only has it come out they've come out of the terminals to give the socket front no earth, but also split. And it was kind of that, it was just over sleeved. Yeah, so now they can have their 32 amps. I'll make a note on the certificate because it is a rather large ring final. It's not certainly how we design it. They should have ran extra circuits when they did the kitchen and then when they did the extension, but that's done. So I can issue their certificate. Happy days. They got a new oven. SPD's fitted. Fuck yeah.